What is going on YouTube? My name is RJ and this is the Gen Z Investor channel. Today I'm going to be talking about a guy of the name of Jeremy from Financial Education, aka Go Broke, aka Tesla Boy, and I'm going to be kind of giving my overall opinion of Jeremy from Financial Education. So, if you're involved in the finance community on YouTube, you will probably know who this guy is. He makes videos about stock investing and basically just money and finance in general. He has over 300,000 subscribers. And I would say that he is probably second to Graham Stephan in terms of kind of viewership on YouTube and kind of popularity pertaining to the basically just the finance community on YouTube. So Jeremy from Financial Education has so many different videos. I mean, he posts videos pretty regularly. Essentially, he posts pretty much a video almost every day, sometimes 2 videos a day. He runs also Financial Education 2, and he is just a really big YouTuber. Now, big disclaimer, on this video, I'm going to kind of be talking about why I do not think Jeremy from Financial Education is a very good investor, and why I think that watching his videos is essentially a waste of time. Now, I'm not bashing Jeremy as a person. I think that he is a very good marketer, and I think he is a very good entrepreneur. However, when it comes to stock market investing, I do not think Jeremy is actually that great of an investor. And in this video, I'm going to kind of explain why I do not think that is the case. Additionally, I do follow him on Instagram. He'll post similar stuff on his Instagram, and I really enjoy that. However, I'm going to kind of dive more into why his Instagram isn't going to really help you make any more money on the stock market. So additionally, Jeremy, he kind of sells this course for long-term investing. Again, he kind of has a kind of Warren Buffett philosophy. You should buy great companies for great values. He has a number of different videos that you can buy for kind of what I would say an expensive price. $100 a month or $1,200 a year. That's definitely not cheap. However, I don't think he's trying to scam you or anything, because he does have a refund policy, and you can kind of cancel your membership at any time. So the kind of problem I have with these kind of courses is that I do not think that you buying this course or watching Financial Education's videos is actually going to help you make more money in the long term. Now, he basically will tell you pretty simple investing tips that you can pretty much essentially learn for free or by reading The Intelligent Investor. He tells you to, everything to look for in picking a stock. He's got an options mastery course, which I do not like at all, but we'll get into that. And he talks about, great dividend portfolio, great stocks, blah, blah, blah. Now, in these videos, he'll tell you kind of, about how you should, read annual reports, 10Ks, 10Qs, listen to conference calls and investor presentations. Now, the main problem I have with these kind of guys who are long-term investors is that all of this information in the 10Ks and 10Qs and conference calls should already be pretty much reflected in the stock price, for the first reason. The second reason is, by looking at 10Ks and 10Qs and conference calls, it's still very hard to quantify stock prices. So what I mean by that is that there is so many different variables that go into picking stocks that even if you do read the 10Ks and 10Qs and you look at net income and earnings per share and operating margin and revenue and all that good stuff, and additionally you listen to conference calls and you say, hey, this is a good management team and I think that they're competent, and again, just like all the stuff for looking for a great company, that essentially isn't going to, you essentially aren't going to be able to put a dollar value on a stock. Now you can compare it with other stocks, but there's so many variables that are not quantitative that you can't actually put a dollar value on. So if, let's say, a stock is trading at $150, you have no idea if that is cheap or expensive. I mean, you can look at other stocks that are have similar business models and have similar revenue numbers and all that stuff, but that doesn't mean that you know when a stock is undervalued or overvalued. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is that it is very difficult to achieve alpha in the stock market from basically any public information. And buying this course, I can, guarantee that you're not going to achieve alpha. However, again, this is just my opinion. Additionally, he talks about, the macro environment, but what these guys will pretty much say is when the stock market gets expensive, you should essentially just hold more cash in your portfolio, and then once market's correct, you should essentially buy the dip. Again, there's nothing really that wrong with that, but you're not maximizing your gains by investing in that particular way. Additionally, here's a video about how long it will take to become a stock market millionaire. Now, he talks about like 5 reasons why you should choose Jeremy. He talks about in a lot of his videos like how he built up $200,000 by the age of 25, which is definitely a good achievement, and I think that he is doing a lot for the investor community, but I do not think that he is a very good investor, which brings me to the 5th point: one of the best stock market finance and passive income instructors in the world. Again, I think that he's a very good marketer, and I think that he is a very good instructor, but I don't think that he is actually that great of an investor. But I will digress. So I'll explain, more why I believe that is the case. So, I originally thought that, maybe this guy was kind of a scam. He does have 7 different stock market accounts, which I kind of saw as a red flag and thought, maybe he was having multiple accounts and then, only posting the winners and stuff. But, he seems to be very transparent and very legit when it comes to, his accounts and his kind of transactions. So I don't think that he is scamming people, and I don't think he's inherently trying to rip people off. I just don't think that, again, he's that great of an investor. So one thing I want to point out is just how difficult it is to achieve alpha in the stock market, which is essentially risk-adjusted returns. You can look at any, academic research or any, I guess, sample of people who try to pick stocks. The reality is most people are will not be able to achieve alpha in the stock market. And, this kind of, I guess, distribution from Morningstar kind of found that like 77% of funds had negative alpha values. So financial education, he kind of preaches that you can achieve alpha in the stock market if you just put in the work ethic and you listen to these conference calls and you buy the dip, essentially. But the problem with that is statistically that's probably not likely. You probably won't be able to achieve alpha by watching his videos or by buying his course. And one thing that I want to say is that if you sell 10,000 courses to various people on the internet, you're going to get let's say you're going to get 10 out of the 10,000 people that achieve alpha in the stock market and they get crazy gains, and you would be very quick to kind of point to that person and kind of say, hey, this person took my course and was able to make a ton of money on the stock market. However, I would argue that because once you have a large enough sample size, you're going to get people who are just outliers for whatever reason, but it has nothing to do with the course or the video that led to the alpha in the stock market. It's essentially you are just a statistic outlier. So it's not that you have any skill or that the course actually made you more money. It's that you're just basically part of a a tail end of a distribution of a given sample. Now, he does talk about options, which this is what I'm going to get into next. So if you don't know, I am a big proponent of selling option premium. Now, financial education, he does have some videos on options, whether it be calls and puts and stuff like that. However, he really only talks about buying options, which is this is the problem that I have, that I think needs to be addressed in the finance community, because there's not a lot of talk about selling option premium, which I think is the best statistical way to make alpha in the stock market. Now, in this video, he talked about how he bought call options in GoPro, which, again, in my opinion, buying call options is essentially like buying lottery tickets. There's no way you're going to consistently make money doing that. And he does a pretty good job at kind of warning people the dangers of options. He basically says that beginners should not kind of mess with options because you can lose a lot of money. But in this video, he kind of talks about how he made 100% ROI in 20 minutes on Zillow, which basically what he did is he bought call options going into a earnings report, and they reported good earnings, and he was able to, again, make 100% ROI. But he just doesn't talk about selling option premium, and that's kind of what I don't like about his channel. For whatever reason, he pretty much only talks about buying options, which we know, again, is like buying lottery tickets. But in my opinion, I have seen a couple of his videos that I couldn't find where he talks about naked options and how naked options are risky and stuff of that kind of manner. However, I would strongly disagree. I think selling naked options is by far the best way to achieve alpha in the stock market. And I'm going to kind of go over an example of why I think that is the case here in a second. Additionally, what I do like is that he bashes day trading. Again, I think day trading is a complete scam. You're gonna lose money day trading, and buying options definitely. But you're definitely not going to lose money by being a long-term investor. You're just, in my opinion, you're not really optimizing your gains in the long run. So, if you may or may not know, Jeremy from Financial Education, he's a big believer in Tesla stock, which if you watch his channel, he makes a ton of videos on Tesla. He's pretty much he's very bullish on Tesla, and very biased towards Tesla, which is, that's okay. He likes Tesla and he thinks that it's going to go up in the long run. Nothing wrong with that. But so here's a kind of breakdown of what I do, which is selling option premium. This is just a list of different options for Tesla. Now, the thing I want to point out is that there's no reason why you should own stock. And if you own stock, you are not maximizing your gains, because buying stock is very capital inefficient and you are handcuffed to the direction of the stock. What I mean by that is that you can only make money being directionally right when you outright buy stock. Whereas when you sell option premium, that is not the case. So right now Tesla is trading at about $220, and what kind of example I want to bring up is you can sell an at the money put. This is, how many days is this out? Well, regardless, it expires October 18th, 2019. So that should be 58 days out, and you can collect just under $17 worth of premium. So in this scenario, the worst case scenario, you will own Tesla stock at a cost basis of $203. Additionally, if the stock rallies, you will be able to collect all the additional premium that you paid, or that you received. So another point I want to point out is that when you sell option premium, you only have to put up 20% of the max loss for selling those options, on the underlying. So whereas stock, you have to buy it outright and put up, 100% of the capital required, and unless you trade on margin, which obviously isn't a good idea for trading stocks. But what I'm trying to say is that there's just no reason to own stock. If you want to go long Tesla, you're significantly better off selling a put on Tesla, whether it be at the money or, you know, one of these kind of out of the money options that are about one standard deviation below the current market price, because you're essentially getting paid to buy the stock at a cheaper price. Additionally, you are basically maximizing your returns. You're making a better investment by selling option premium is what I'm trying to say. And again, Jeremy from Financial Education doesn't really teach this, and he doesn't really point this out. In numerous videos, he's basically said that selling naked options is risky, but that actually couldn't be further from the truth. And you know, the last thing I want to point out is I don't think he's not a scam, but I don't think that, you know, you're going to make money from buying his courses or watching his videos. I think that his videos are more just for entertainment purposes and are not going to actually make you more money. But I think that he has a very good work ethic. I think he's a very good marketer. But again, he's in my opinion, I don't think he's a very good investor, and I don't think that he's using all the tools that are necessary to maximize your gains in the stock market in the long run. Now, I know that was kind of a long video, but I really wanted to make this video to kind of have an open conversation about the finance community, about the kind of lack of understanding of selling option premium in the market from some of these big YouTubers. Again, my name is RJ. This is the Gen Z Investor channel. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you leave a comment down below, subscribe, like this video, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace out.